Hello YouTubes, remember me? I'm that guy that used to make videos on YouTube. So why have I not been working out in the garage? Let me show you. Because it's freaking freezing, even inside the garage. For example, this is my bucket for washing the cars. We have some good news though. It is the first day of spring, allegedly. But I did notice something. The ice is indeed starting to melt. This little lump of ice has been here for 3 weeks. I mean, it was like that height, so this is a good sign. I've got meltage over there as well. Fantastic. So let's ease gently into this new season of car building with a wee product review and a very nice item sent to me from Yes Welder. I needed a new car washing hose, however they only had garden hoses, so I got one of them instead. As you can tell, this is no traditional style garden hose, it's an expandable garden hose, 3 times expandable. It should actually say 3 times shrinkable if it's 100 feet, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't go to 300 feet when it expands. But as you can see, very small. I've had these before, totally love them. So let's go through the pros and then go through some of the cons. Pro number 1, obviously, is the size or lack of size or space that it takes up. Compared to a traditional hose, which would be that much space. Just cumbersome and horrible compared to this. This even comes with a little bag. I'll go through whatever, everything you get in this kit that I got from Amazon, and there will be a link in the description below if it works. Okay, pro number 2, coiling this thing up, even when it's really cold, it's so easy compared to a solid hose. Well, let me show you. So this is part of my old hose system, which actually burst, which I'll get to in the cons. No, is that a pro? We'll find out. But this is really hard to coil up, and it doesn't stay coiled up. It's horrible. I've always hated solid hoses, but that's all we used to have. Next pro. These expandable hoses are generally made of a kind of soft material on the outside compared to the solid hose. So if you are washing your car and you care about the surface of your paint, this is not going to damage your paint if it rubs against it, whereas obviously solid hose would or could. And on to the other pro-con that I wasn't sure about. In winter, if you put your hose away, if you put a solid hose away and it's still got water in it, it could expand and burst the hose. But because this is expandable, if there's any water in this, it'll expand out and stretch the hose, and then it'll go back down to where it was. So that's pretty good. I like that feature. Okay, on to the cons. Now, they do say you could drive over these things and they'll compress, and then you can use it as normal. It's not going to damage it. However, these are softer and more fragile than a solid hose. So keep it well away from any sharp object, rough ground, anything that's going to catch on it, it could tear it. So you do have to be a wee bit more careful. Now, the biggest con that I've found out, not personally, but from looking at reviews, because it's expandable and it requires the water pressure to expand it out. If you live in a house with low water pressure, maybe you live in a rural area using a well with a pump, you might not have the water pressure that you would get in municipal water areas. So even if it works, you may not get a very good flow from an expandable hose, and obviously the longer the hose you get, the less pressure is going to come out the end. So the only way to find out if this 100-foot hose is going to work for me is to plug it all in, which means I probably need to wash a car, which also means I need to defrost my soapy bucket. Back soon. Right, let's set up this hose. So this kit comes with your standard screw-on fittings at either end. That would go onto your faucet or tap or whatever. At least in North America. I know it's a bit different in Europe and the UK. The other side, it comes with a already attached nozzle. Now, the nozzle's fine. It feels fairly robust, and it's got rubber where it's going to hit the ground. The only thing I don't like about this particular nozzle is the way that you would keep it on without the handle, and that's this little clip thing. It's also got an adjustable screwy thing here. I'm just not keen on this. It's a two-hand job. And I'd rather it was just a one-handed affair. So, in that respect, I will be replacing this with the one that I've already got that I really like. Also in the kit, you get a couple of extra rubber washers and a handy bag to keep it all safe in, which I will probably never use, but I will try, at least for the first couple of attempts. So let's put my new nozzle on. It also has a little tap here. Make sure you don't double up in your washer there. But it's got a little on-off tap there that you can use. Make sure there's still a seal in that one. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, for the other side, I like to use a quick connect adapter. So I'm going to screw in one of these. Now I'm going to use a wrench just to nip that up because you can't quite get enough grip there. Not mega tight, but tight enough that it doesn't leak. That'll do it. So now we're ready to plug that into the water outlet and start squishing water everywhere. Now, I do intend to run a solid pipe from my water outlet, which is way back at that far side of the garage, and run the pipe all the way to the front of the garage. But for now, I'm just going to use my trusty solid pipe that I hate, just to get it away from the wall. I could plug this straight into the wall, but I want to give it a fair test without the possibility of this getting caught up in something behind there. So plug that in there. Don't know what that was. And now we can turn the water on and watch the magic happen. Doesn't matter how many times I use this, I always leave it in the open position, so now the garage is soaked. Anyway, let's see if we get any leaks. Oh look, it's growing. Anyway, I don't have any leaks, so I'm going to take a walk down to the end of the driveway, see how far we get. It's long. Still got all this available hose we can use. Maybe I should have got a shorter one. That gives you an idea though. I mean, this is a 100-foot hose. I've got all this extra. It goes all the way down to the end of the driveway, and I've still got extra around there, so I can get right round the car or the truck. But is there going to be any pressure in the system when I switch it on? Let's find out. That seems to work quite well. Oh, sorry if I got you wet. Right, I suppose I better wash the car properly, and then we'll see what it's like when we switch this off and put it away. See if it shrinks back down, shall we? Right, let's see if it retracts as advertised. Now the water is off, but obviously the hose is still full of water. So I'm going to open this up and then I'll show you a little trick I found for getting rid of the rest of the water. And you'll see the hose starting to retract all the way up. Is it retract or contract? Either way. Okay, so once this is behaving and not going to soak my legs, I'm going to leave it open and then disconnect it from the house side and then lift the hose and coil it up as I bring it back to the nozzle. And hopefully doing it this way helps to feed all the water out of the nozzle at the open end. But it's not the end of the world if you don't get all the water out, because as I said before, this hose can expand if the water freezes. And there we go. Ready for its nice little handy bag. I'm not going to use the bag. I'm just going to hang it up somewhere. And by hang it up, I mean place it on a table for now. So there you go. You saw how easy that is to coil up. Love these things. As I said before, you do have to be a wee bit more cautious with rough surfaces or you're going to burst it. They are also known for sometimes bursting at this section here. So just keep an eye on that and don't be tugging at that end there. You can see it's a little bit thinner at that point, so you need to be a wee bit more careful there. Other than that, love it. And these things are actually a fair bit cheaper than the standard 100-foot solid hose. So even if you have to replace it a couple of times for the same amount of time as a solid pipe, the convenience aspect is well worth it. Just got the truck to do now. Job for another day. Okay, as I said before, link in the description to Amazon if you want to purchase one of these hoses. I did some research, checked all the reviews, and that particular hose did get a fairly high ranking compared to others of similar price and length. Thanks for watching my little product review. I need to go and find a hook and stick it in the wall. Take care, everyone. Better go and wash the truck.